that they're missing the whole point. The final hour is the final hour. The people who believe that they have overcome death with the man-made whirlwinds are the people you really need to watch out for. They're dangerous. At first, you might think they're free from being like the Nazis, the Nazis, but actually they are a different form. They are NOTSEE in our society. Obviously, we recently had this Ohio, um, East Palestine, Ohio spill. A person can put the puzzle pieces together and recognize that the government in general does not actually care about the general citizen in various ways. And the only reason why they push their ideas is because they want to believe they focus so heavily on diversity, which is free from NAZIs, that they're missing the whole point. The NAZIs hated the Moses account, hated it all the way through and through, all the way. It is disgusting to know that men like this are controlling the lives of the little people. What I mean is that women's health is something that is up and down. It goes through cycles and phases and this and that. And when the water doesn't work right, the water really, really doesn't work right. The Ohio train derailment, obviously, after like a hurricane or a tornado or any sort of nature-made event, we hear of not drinking water. Okay, we hear of that. That's been in America for quite some time. But when you know it's caused by men and men doing it, then you better watch out. Hurricanes, you can kind of go over here and move a different place and decide I'm not going to live there anymore. Okay. But the men that try to block you from getting access are ones you better watch for. Okay. Who is doing this? The NOTSEEs. The not C's. They believe they're good on their own terms. Number one. Number two, they believe they are stronger than the weakest people. Well, they are, but they aren't. The weakest people of our society are the ones that are developing in women's wombs right now. I'm not saying every woman is going to have 20 children. That's ridiculous. That's not real. But every womb is going to have to operate. And if the womb don't operate, blah, 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 the woman could die under pressure of some dirty water or something, or not getting access to proper ER care, something like that. Septic develops, whatever, whatever, whatever. If a person knows somebody that works in an OB department or they know things about it, or I'm just sitting here like water quality, folks, septic, and all these other things. Now, just the women's health, I'm just pointing you to that one for the little people, meaning random things that happen. Okay? Children, they can get dog bites and die of septic too. Young children. I know of some long-term effects of some children that have long-term healthcare issues because of a high fever at a certain point in time and they couldn't correct it. Okay? So blood and water and all these things, they all go in the same, they float on the same boat. And guess who's creating these problems? Men who don't agree with the Moses account. What type of marriage do you think they choose? Oh, we can choose our hormones, this type of belief. What were you given? If you were designed to be a certain height, you probably need to be arranged that way, the way Creator wanted you to be arranged. Marriage, okay, who is the weaker thigh bones? Who has the shorter thigh bones, the weaker thigh bones, the more fragile in your marriage? Oh, it's not there? Well, then it probably isn't a marriage, because you're just living in a bloody life and you're creating blood for society too, these people. I'm not saying that God can't forgive people that are blood murderous based on their definitions. I've seen and heard of different situations where men get out of their mess because they figure out the gospel, they figure out the Moses account, and they figure out mutilation and all this other junk. It's not of God, it's of man. And man destroys man because he doesn't want to pay attention to the little people. It's like a hit and run constantly, social hit and run. They rewire people's minds, the children's minds, with their definition rewiring. Like when you say that you read a story, and like in the Bible it says Adam and Eve left Eden. They left. Okay. They want to rewire the definition of leave. They're going to try to rewrite the whole thing. Okay, what side does the sun rise in? The east. They want to rewire your mind and redefine the word east. I mean, these people, these men, are not C's, Notsees, which is very similar to Nazis, but it takes a little bit of thought to see what I'm talking about, especially if you're talking about STD rates, domestic violence, and like I say, are they really attentive to the misses in the home, like the one with the MRS, and when you see the letter S, you could say shh, shh, for a shin bone, the weaker shin bone, the shh. And when you're talking about anashim, you're talking about people. And if you know Hebrew language, you know what little anashim are, a little group of people. Only a few nations use the word anashim. Not every nation does, okay? Only a few nations for people, the word people. Because our Creator knows way more than man. Okay. Anyway, just some things to think about, and if anything, read the book of Esther first. Start there. Just saying, just read it. Not saying you have to remember everything in there, but get the basic idea. We're in that season of Purim, by the way, right before Passover. Really think about water quality these days. Okay. And what happened in that Ohio train wreck. It was a disaster created by man. Okay. And then go back and read, Adam and Eve content, Genesis account, whatever, and go through other parts of the Bible. Okay. Whereas their love, okay. So basically, in the book of Esther, there's a man and a woman, one man, one woman, that one man saved one woman's life. There was another woman involved, like a Queen Vashti, but it was actually only one man. Okay. And one woman. Jewish woman. That it doesn't mean you have to be Jewish to see things, but you can see how it's one man and one woman in that picture. Okay? Think about it. Okay. Goodbye.